Yeah, these long delays can really put a damper on things. It is very stressful, especially being in a semi truck. Every time you accelerate, it's a huge effort. And then you have to stop, accelerate, stop. Being on the road so many hours, you see all kinds of stuff. And we had a lot of traffic this week. And usually at the end of the traffic, when it opens up, you see something. Either it's road construction or it's an accident. And unfortunately, this time it was an accident. It doesn't look like anybody was seriously injured, but it looked like it was two smaller cars colliding and spinning out right in front of the CHP way station here. Yeah, so I'm here in Phoenix, and it's gonna be a long wait. Last time I was here trying to deliver to this location, it took me about 9 hours total. So it was a long unloading process, and most of that time I'm waiting. So I found this place that does, I think from the reviews, they do decent al pastor tacos. I'm gonna go hit it and see if they make good tacos here. I realized that I need to get these taco runs in while the weather's good, because soon the weather could turn really crummy. It's already the first week of December, and the weather's still pretty nice here in Phoenix. The Mexican restaurant wasn't too far, so it wasn't a long trek, and it was quick. A chance to order, wait, get your food, and leave, and then back to the truck and enjoy the tacos while hopefully they begin to unload me soon. So they gave us two salsas, one verde and one rojo. So I'll do one taco with green, one taco with red, and then I'll try one taco combined. Okay, obviously they've shifted in transit. It moved around a lot, so I'm probably gonna have to put these things together and take a bite. But yeah, it looks legit. It's good. I rated it about 7.5 out of 10. I've had better. I think I make better as well, but it's good. It was worth the scooter ride. Yep. So the verdict, the tacos were good, really good. I gave it a 7.5 I think earlier, but I think it's like an 8.5 because the sauce. So first I put the red sauce, I took a bite, and then I decided to add that green sauce together. And then the minute I used both of them, because it's not a pure salsa, it's more of a guaca salsa, the green one. And it was delicious, like combined, red and green. And you know, I had a late breakfast, so I only ordered 3 tacos, but hit the spot. It was so good. Yeah, Arizona has good Mexican food. I mean, you know, people have told me that, but eating it firsthand, it's really good. You know, I know there's a lot of Mexicans and Latinos here, but you know, the tacos here were authentic. You know, al pastor. They even had the pineapples in there, so it was spot on. It was good. Yep, I would definitely go back. You know, as drivers, sometimes we can get really frustrated, and I want to remind people, make sure that your direction, your plan, your purpose outweighs your anger and your frustration. And one thing I want to encourage you guys to do is to be tenacious. Be tenacious. You know, don't let small things weigh you out, because in the big scheme of things, a lot of the things that's going on, they're not a big deal. I mean, it's annoying, it's frustrating, it's, you know, major delays, a lot of feeling of incompetence, and just feeling frustration. But if you think about it, if you keep fighting that good fight, if you keep showing up, doing what you need to do, if you keep asking, if you keep reminding the right people what you need to do your job, you will prevail. As long as the company is a legit company, you will prevail. So I'm trying to encourage you guys, don't give up because you got pissed off. At the end, you will regret it. Do things on your terms. Don't just leave the company, or whichever company you're at, don't just leave that company because you got mad, or because this is the last straw, you've had enough. You know, think things through carefully, and make sure if you are going to leave, have your next gig set up first. The last thing you want to do is leave and not have a gig. And you'll be sitting there looking, and then you'll realize, oh, I had it good, right? Or at least I had it decent, you know? So be smart. Be smart about things before you make decisions. Be smart before you blow up. It's almost midnight on Friday, and I am at Chiriaco Summit, right by the freeway here, and the trucks are still rolling. They're rolling, baby. This is a 10 freeway past Indio towards Phoenix. But there's a lot of trucks still moving. Crazy, huh? Friday night, almost midnight. So this week I had some slow starts. You know, I had my first delivery was a local run, which I helped out with, and I didn't complain. You know, they need the help, you got to do it. And then the second run, I went into Phoenix, but the delivery time was whacked. And this was a location where last time I was there, I spent 9 hours before they unloaded me. And this time I asked for a relay, and they couldn't do the relay. They said they didn't have enough drivers, and you know, I think they kind of make us drivers take turns on doing the crummy loads, and this was a crummy load. But you know what? I asked, they said no. And this is a thing that I want to tell you guys, especially if you're with the same company I'm with, keep asking. It doesn't hurt. I mean, it seems like you're being a pain in the ass, but you're not. Keep asking. You know, this is your livelihood. You got to take care of yourself. You got to make sure you bring home the bacon. You got to make sure that you're out here on the road and making money, because what are you out here for? You can't be some, you know, doormat where you just take it in the chin all the time. You can't. You got to make the money. And so the next run I had was another bogus time, but it was, you know, it was a decent delivery, but it was a bogus time. I had a huge gap. I think it was like a almost like 28 hours or 24 hours. And so I called it in, and normally they would say, no, you still have to deliver that. But I called it in and said, you know what, can you turn this one into a relay? And they went ahead and turned it into a relay right away. And then the next day, get this. So the next day, I get another one, and I have like another, probably like a good 6-hour wait before my delivery again. And I asked again. And then they turned it into a relay again. And the worst thing that could happen is that they'll say no, you know? Another thing they could do is maybe in the background grumble that, oh my gosh, they're so annoying, they keep asking. But you know what? This is your livelihood. You need to keep asking. You need to be tenacious. You need to not worry about them thinking you're annoying or whatever. You know, you need to do what you need to do. You need to make the money. And, you know, say it politely. Say it politely, respectfully. They're doing their job, and you got to do your job. So be professional about it. Don't be annoying. Don't be, you know, upset. Don't be sitting there complaining. You know, just say, you know, can you do this for me? And they actually told me, yeah, we'll do it again. And so they turned it into a relay. And then they encouraged me and said, you know what, whenever you come across these kinds of situations, go ahead and ask for the relay. We want you to keep doing what you're doing. Keep communicating, you know, because that basically sends a message that you are one of the drivers that want to keep driving, you know? So don't be shy about this stuff. Don't be feeling uncomfortable. Oh, you know, I don't want to bother them again. I just asked. I asked 3 times in a row, and out of the 3, twice they turned it into a relay. You know, does that happen all the time? No. Most of the time they make me deliver every single one of them, but it doesn't hurt. The worst thing you're going to hear is, we can't, you know? But they know your situation. They know you're trying to hustle. They know that you're trying to make a living. So don't be shy about that stuff. You know, go ahead and do what you got to do. What is going on, my people? So this week was 3 round trips to the Phoenix area, but they started me off with a local load. Initially, the week started a little grim. It didn't look like it was going to turn out to be anything decent, but at the end, I kept persisting with the company. to give me loads and to turn things into relays and whatnot. And I ended up with about 2,100 miles. So it was a decent week. It wasn't great, but it was decent. It was good enough. I finished the week also on a Saturday night, which is good because to get in 6 runs or 7 runs actually this time, to get in about 7 runs, 1 local and 6 long distance, and finishing on a Saturday night is pretty good. Anyway, so about 2,100 miles. And despite all of the annoying challenges and stuff like that, it ended up being a decent week. And now this is the thing that I wanted to say is that it's hard. And a lot of times the reason why I keep repeating the same things over and over again is for me, myself, to remind myself and to remind other drivers out there that we're kind of in it together, is to stay motivated, because one of the killers of this job is to lose motivation, is to lose that drive, no pun intended. But it's really to start feeling like this job is dull or it's not rewarding enough. And you know what? A lot of that is what you make of it. And what I want to say is, a lot of the things that I've been kind of repeating in my vlogs is that you want to stay motivated, you want to stay tenacious, you want to stay positive, you want to stay on course. Living life with purpose. Being persistent, communicating all the time, and I think it's very easy for us to be in a truck for as long as we are, and then eventually letting little things get to us, because our world has kind of shrunk in a way, and mentally we're looking at our little cab where we live in basically most of the time as we're on the road, and every once in a while we get out at an OC or at a shipper or receivers, and we get to stretch and then a truck stop or rest stop or something, right? But other than that, that's our world. And when we're in that little bubble of a world, there's a lot of things, if we don't keep ourselves in check, we can start sliding in weird directions. We can get off on weird tangents. We could kind of lose it, we lose our sense of balance and lose our equilibrium, like kind of, I don't want to say go off the deep end, but, easier for us to make bad judgment calls or bad decisions, which we regret later. Because when you look at the big scheme of things, it's a long haul. It's like a day in, day out, one step at a time. And during that grind, we have to keep things in focus, keep things in perspective, because if we don't, we will end up potentially making decisions to get out of the industry or get out of the driving. And when you look back, it's not bad at all. This job is not that bad, even at the worst of times. I've been in job situations where, I'm battling with lawyers, I'm battling with difficult coworkers, employees, lawsuits, just a lot of ugly, difficult situations. Us, we wait an extra 2-3 hours and we're frustrated. I mean, we're almost at the edge. You know what I mean? We don't get that one assignment or we don't get that one relay, and we're ready to call it quits, because this is a last straw. It's happened too many times, blah, 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 blah. You know what? You have to broaden your capacity, widen your perspective and broaden your capacity. And if you have that big capacity, these little things, you still have to fight tooth and nail to get what you need to get. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You have to. You have to be proactive. Be nice, be courteous, be professional, but be persistent and fight that fight. But when you sometimes have losses on the battlefield, don't let it deter you from continuing to fight that fight. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have no's. You're going to have rejections. You just are. You're going to have situations where things just don't go your way. You're going to be in a situation where traffic even holds you back. I've had that happen so many times this week and last week. Just traffic, just messing things up, And it's not even time when there should be traffic, and there's traffic, So you really need a thick skin and keep things in perspective, keep a broader perspective. This is how, and you know what, whether you're in trucking or in other stuff, when you're so focused in on your work and you're zoomed in, you're zoned in, you're just like, things get blown up, like amplified, and little things will matter at that point because you're trying to get that little 5% more, 10% more, which separates the good and the great. And a lot of people, we're wired to go that extra little bit more, a little bit faster, a little bit better, a little bit more efficient, and while we're doing that, we get the setbacks, but people that are tenacious will keep going at it and eventually accomplish it. That's what separates kind of like the A- to the A+. You're still getting an A. If you don't want to go through that stress, don't put yourself through that stress. If you've got a good rhythm, a good flow, you're doing what you want to do, and the outcome and the pay that you're getting is what you expect to get paid. Hey, more power to you. That's good. You'll probably last a long time and you'll be steady. You might get bored, but you'll have steady work and you'll have steady results. And so what I'm trying to say here, to kind of wrap it all up, is that the goals you set in the beginning and what you want to accomplish and what you want to make, every once in a while, I'm coming up to my 1 year period. You have to stop and check and say, am I making more than what I thought I was going to make before I started? Am I putting up with completely unnecessary BS than what I thought I was going to put up with? Or are things horribly wrong here? Like you just asked those questions. I mean, if I ask myself those questions, I'm actually making a lot more than what I was promised I was going to make. So I'm happy. Even though I'm not getting all of the consistent hours week in and week out, I'm happy here, because they work with me. And even though that I keep bugging them to do this for me, do that for me, they're okay with that. They want that. And so when I look at my time here at the company, I'm not disappointed. I know there's a lot of people that are frustrated. When I went through a lot of frustration, I even still go through a lot of frustration, but I think it's the nature of the job, not necessarily specifically the company. The company has its drawbacks, but other companies will have different drawbacks. You have to choose your poison. There's no perfect company out there, but so far so good for me. I'm almost at the 1 year point, and it's more than what I expected because I was told I was going to make X amount, and I'm making a lot more. And a lot of the people that I talk to for a first year driver, they're pretty shocked that I'm making this much. So just stay motivated out there, motivated every day in and day out. And no matter what line of work you're in, stay motivated and keep things in perspective and be grateful for what we have. There's a lot of people. I mean, you could be jobless for a long time, and when you're on the other side of that fence, it's not cool, So when you finally get that job, you appreciate that job. Well, that's all for me today. Thanks for joining me here on this journey. God bless you. And I want you guys to all stay safe out there as the winter months hit. Stay warm as well. And until we talk next time, peace. And thanks for continuing to watch these videos. We'll catch you next time. Cheers.